Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I am Sarah, your host for today.
And hello to all our listeners. I am James. It is wonderful to be here.
It's great to have you. We have a really interesting topic to get into today. How are you feeling? Ready to go?
I'm feeling great. I have my coffee, and I am so ready to explore this because today's topic, it's one of those things that, it seems small at first,
Yeah.
but once you notice it, you see it absolutely everywhere.
Oh, completely. I was actually scrolling through the news on my phone this morning, and it just hit me. We expect learners to just read a newspaper, but the headlines, they're so bizarre.
Bizarre is a good word.
They're like a secret code.
A secret code is the perfect way to describe it.
Right. I was looking at one and I thought, if I said this sentence out loud, people would think I was, I don't know, a robot or something. The grammar feels broken.
Totally.
The words are so intense. It's like its own little language inside of English.
It really is. And, linguists actually call it headlines. It's not just random mistakes, it's a specific style. It has its own rules, its own vocabulary, and even its own concept of time.
And that is exactly our mission for today. We are going to crack that code. We want to break down the rules of headline English so that when you see a headline pop up, you're not confused. You know exactly what's going on.
We're going to look at what we're calling the grammar diet, which is why words just disappear. We'll explore the weird time traveling verb tenses, some clever punctuation hacks, and of course, those super high energy power verbs journalists love to use.
Okay, let's start with that. The grammar diet. I just
Uh
I love that phrase. It's like the sentences are trying to fit into their old jeans or something.
huh. That's exactly it. You have to think about where this comes from. In old print newspapers, space was money. Every letter cost something.
And now it's screen space on our phones.
Exactly. It's about attention. You have maybe 50 characters to grab someone before they just swipe away.
So it's an economy of attention. You've got to cut the fat.
Precisely. So let's look at the first thing to get cut from this diet. The the extra calories of the sentence, you could say.
That would be the articles, right?
Rule number 1. No articles. Words like a, an, and the are almost always the first to go.
Which is so funny because we spend so much time teaching students that they have to use them. The is what the most common word in English.
It is. But in a headline, it's just dead weight. It doesn't add new meaning. So if you were speaking normally, you'd say, a man saved the dog. It's perfect.
But it's 5 words long.
Too long, so you strip it down.
And it becomes
Man saves dog.
man saves dog. It's so blunt, almost primitive.
It is like a caveman talking. Man save dog. But your brain just fills in the gaps instantly. You know what it means.
It does sound a bit robotic, but I get the efficiency. Okay, so articles are out. What's the next thing to go on this grammar diet?
The next rule is missing be verbs. We're talking about words like is, are, was, and were.
Ah, okay. This is where it gets really tricky for learners, I think, especially with the passive voice.
Yes, this is a huge one. Let's take a crime story. In normal English, you'd say 3 people were arrested. But in a headline, that word were is just taking up space. So,
You just delete it.
gone.
Yeah.
So the headline is 3 arrested in drug raid.
3 arrested. Okay, I can see how a learner might look at that and think, wait, who did the arresting? Did the number 3 arrest someone?
Huh? Right. Did the number 3 put someone in handcuffs? But because it's news, our brains understand that it means 3 people were arrested.
We just bridge that gap automatically.
It creates this sense of urgency. It strips the event down to its bare bones, the number, the action, the place.
It really does make the news feel faster, like little bullets of information, no articles, no be verbs.
Exactly. And, this need for speed and urgency, it takes us to the part that I think is the most difficult, the timeline.
Oh, the timeline. This is where the code gets really weird because normally time rules and grammar are pretty strict.
They are. But headlines play fast and loose with time. So let's break this down. In a normal conversation, if the president signed a bill yesterday, you'd use the past tense. The president signed the bill.
Simple past. It's done. Over.
But if a newspaper prints president signed bill, it feels kind of old history.
So what do they do to make it feel new?
They use the present simple tense, even for something that already happened.
So the headline reads, President signs bill.
That's it. President signs bill, even if he signed it yesterday.
That's psychological, isn't it? It makes it feel like it's happening right now as you read it.
It puts you in the room. It makes the news feel like it's breaking, even when it's not. It's a neat trick.
That's fascinating. Okay, so present simple is for the past. What about the future? How do they talk about what will happen without using the word will?
This is a really special one, and you pretty much only see it in journalism. For the future, headlines use the infinitive. So, to plus a verb.
Just to visit or to meet.
Exactly. So let's say a minister is going to Seoul tomorrow. The minister will visit Seoul is too long.
So they chop it.
And the headline becomes Minister to visit Seoul.
Minister to visit Seoul. It sounds almost like a to-do list item or something.
It does. It functions like a pointer, pointing to the future. And it sounds more definite than will, somehow,
Yeah.
like it's already scheduled and confirmed.
Okay, so present simple for the past, the infinitive for the future. Is there anything else?
Just one more common one. For something that is happening right now or it's an ongoing situation, headlines will often drop the be verb and just use the ing form.
Like just the verb with ing.
Yep. Think about the tech industry, it's always in flux.
Yeah.
So a headline might say, Tech giants fighting for AI dominance.
Not are fighting, just fighting.
Right. It implies it's a continuous struggle. It's happening now, and it's not over. It drops you right into the middle of the action.
I love that. So the present makes the past immediate, the infinitive points to the future, and ing puts you in the middle of the action. It really is like time travel.
Journalists are basically time travelers. They bend time to keep our attention.
Okay, we have to talk about punctuation. Because if the grammar is weird, the punctuation is just total anarchy.
It's organized anarchy.
I see commas and colons used in ways I was taught were completely wrong. Let's start with the comma.
The comma. Okay.
Mm.
In a normal sentence, a comma separates items in a list. In a headline, a comma usually just means and.
Just and that's it.
That's it. Think about business news. Apple and NVIDIA are working together. You could write Apple and NVIDIA.
But and is 3 letters. A comma is 1 character.
Exactly. So the headline is Apple and NVIDIA join forces.
Apple and NVIDIA join forces. That little comma is doing a lot of work there.
It's pure efficiency. And what about the colon? The 2 dots.
I see that all the time with quotes.
Yes. The colon is basically shorthand for attribution. It just means someone said this.
Because writing out the CEO said that is way too slow.
Way too slow. Imagine a CEO makes a big prediction. The headline won't be the CEO stated that profits are expected to double.
It'll just be CEO, profits will double.
Boom, CEO, profits will double. The colon is the voice. It separates the speaker from what they said. It's so clean.
It is clean. Okay, but now we have to talk about the most dangerous punctuation mark in all of news, the question mark.
Ah, yes, the question mark. If you take one thing away today, let it be this. Be very, very careful with headlines that end in a question mark.
Why is that?
Because in news, a question mark almost always means speculation. It means this is not a confirmed fact.
Right.
A lot of the time, it's just clickbait.
Clickbait. They just want you to click the link.
Right. There's an old rule in journalism called Betteridge's Law of Headlines. It says any headline that ends in a question mark can be answered by the word no.
Haha, really? Just no.
Think about it. You see a headline like,
Yeah.
"Is AI taking your job?"
That's a scary headline.
It's meant to be. It grabs your fear. But if
Right.
the answer was a definite yes, what would the headline say?
It would say AI is taking your job.
Exactly. The fact they have to ask it as a question means they don't have enough proof to state it as a fact.
That is such a good tip. See a question mark, be skeptical.
Instantly, it's a huge red flag.
Okay, let's move on to my favorite part of headline English, the drama, the big cinematic vocabulary.
Yes, the power verbs. These are usually short, punchy words that are packed with emotion.
It's like they're trying to make a boring government announcement sounds like a movie trailer.
That is absolutely the goal. Let's go through a few classics. You see this one all the time. Slam.
Slam, like slamming a door.
That's the image. It means to criticize something very, very strongly. It's a verbal attack.
A senator disagrees with the new policy, which sounds a bit sleepy.
Right. The headline shouts, Senator slams new policy. You can almost hear it. It creates conflict.
I love it. Okay, what's another one?
How about spark? SPARK.
Like starting a fire.
Exactly. A spark is that tiny thing that starts a huge fire. So in headlines, it means to cause something to start suddenly, usually something dramatic.
So you wouldn't say the new rule caused a debate?
Caused is weak, you'd say. New rule sparks debate. It's more explosive. It implies the situation was ready to ignite.
That's a great one. Okay, what about this one? It always sounds a little ominous to me. Loom.
Oh, yes, loom. We use this when something big and threatening is on the horizon, but it's not here yet, like a big storm cloud.
So it's always for bad news.
Almost always, you'll see. Recession looms over economy. It creates a sense of dread, of anticipation. It makes you want to read to find out more.
Okay, one last one. I.
I. As a verb, which is strange, but headlines love tuning nouns into verbs.
So what does it mean to eye something?
It means to look at something as a target or a goal, to consider it.
Like you've got your eye on the prize.
Exactly. So a business headline might be Company Eyes expansion into Japan.
Company eyes expansion. It's so much more active than is considering.
It's shorter, it's punchier, and once you learn these words, slam, spark, loom, eye, you realize journalists use them over and over.
It's true. Now, let's zoom in on something a bit more advanced because we're in 2026. And the way we get our news, it brings up issues of bias and technology.
This is so important. Understanding the grammar is step one, but understanding the intent behind the words, that's step two.
We call that reading between the lines.
Exactly. Because a newspaper's choice of words tells you everything about its point of view.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Let's imagine a conflict. One newspaper might call a group of people freedom fighters. Another paper, describing the exact same group, might call them rebels.
Wow. Okay. Freedom fighters sounds noble, heroic. Rebels sounds dangerous, chaotic.
But the facts on the ground might be identical. The word choice, the label, tells you who the newspaper supports. You have to be a detective when you read.
That's so true. And speaking of being a detective in 2026, technology is a huge part of this now.
It is. AI is everywhere.
Mm.
But you have to remember, the AI is also a filter. It's writing that summary based on the biased language in the headline in the first paragraph.
So if the headline is dramatic, the AI summary will probably be dramatic too.
Exactly. And the algorithms are designed to show you things they think you'll react to. So it can create a bit of an echo chamber if you're not careful.
Which actually leads me to my number one practical tip for everyone listening. The best way to learn this stuff and fight the confusion,
Ooh, what is it?
it's simple. Don't stop at the headline.
It sounds simple, but it's so hard to do in our busy lives.
I know. But the headline is just the bait. If you really want to understand, you have to read the first paragraph. In journalism, that's called the lead, LEAD.
And why is the lead so important?
Because the lead usually has the full grammatically correct sentences. It has all the information that the headline had to cut out.
Ah, so you can use it to check your work.
Exactly. Read the headline, guess what it means, then read the lead and see if you were right. It turns reading the news into a little game.
That is a fantastic way to study. You're actively testing yourself instead of just passively reading.
Well, we have covered so much today. The grammar diet, the time travel, the power verbs.
We really have. It's amazing how much is packed into just a few words at the top of an article.
It's a real skill. I'm curious, why do you read the news?
For me, it's practical. I want to know what's happening in the world so I can make good decisions. It's about being informed. How about you?
For me, I think I read the news to understand the language of the world. It connects me to people and places. When I read a headline, even a strange one, I feel like I'm getting a little window into someone else's reality.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Language really is a bridge.
It is. And for all of you listening, we hope this conversation helps you build that bridge a little stronger.
Absolutely. The next time you see a confusing headline, don't be scared of it. See it as a puzzle.
Remember the grammar diet. No articles, no be verbs.
Remember the timeline. Present for past, to for future.
And keep an eye out for those power verbs.
Yes. Keep your eyes open, think critically, and have your dictionary ready.
That is fantastic advice. We really hope you enjoyed exploring headline English with us today.
It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for listening.
Before we sign off, if you enjoyed this and found it useful, it would mean the world to us if you'd support the show.
Yes, please don't forget to subscribe and come back to the Vivid English podcast. We have so many more things we want to talk about with you.
We really appreciate every one of you. Thanks for being here.
Have a wonderful week, everyone. Keep practicing.
See you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm James.
And I'm Sarah. Hello to all our listeners.
So, are you having a good day? You're looking very energetic today.
I am doing great. Thank you for noticing. I am really excited about our discussion today. It is something that every single English learner struggles with. How are you doing?
I am doing well, thanks. But to be honest with you, I'm feeling a little frustrated with my own studies.
Oh no. Why is that? What happened?
Well, it brings us right to our topic today. You know that specific feeling when you learn a new English word?
Mm-hmm.
You memorize it, you feel confident, you
Wow.
think, yes, I finally know this.
Of course. That's a great feeling. It feels like progress.
Right. But then maybe 2 days later, I try to use that word and
Yeah.
nothing. It's
Mm.
completely gone. My mind just goes blank.
The word just vanishes.
Exactly. And I have to ask you, does this mean I just have a bad memory? Is there, something wrong with my brain?
I want you to listen to me very carefully, and I want everyone listening to hear this too. There is absolutely nothing wrong with your brain. You do not have a bad memory.
Really? Because it definitely feels like I do sometimes.
Not at all. This isn't a personal failure, it's just biology.
Hmm.
Today, we are going to explore the science of memory. We are going to look at exactly how our brains work and how we can hack the system so you stop forgetting English vocabulary.
That sounds like a promise I want to hear. So we're not just talking about like general study tips today.
No, we are going to look at the hard science. We'll talk about something called the forgetting curve. Then we will get into a method called SRS, some really fun tricks for visualization.
We're even going to talk about some amazing new technology from this year, 2026, that acts like a personal tutor for your memory.
Exactly. We have a lot to get through. Let's get started.
Okay, let's take a closer look at this forgetting curve. It sounds a little ominous.
Huh.
Who came up with this idea?
It was a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus. A long time ago in the 19th century, he did all this research on how quickly we forget things. And the results are, well, they're actually quite shocking.
How shocking are we talking?
Well, Ebbinghaus discovered that if you learn something new, but you don't review it, you will forget about 70% of that information.
Wait. Let me check if I heard that right.
Okay.
70% in just one day.
Yes, 70% gone.
That is depressing. So that means if I spend an hour studying today, by tomorrow, I barely remember 15 minutes of it.
If you don't review it, yes, that's the reality of the human brain.
Okay, so that explains why cramming for a test never really worked for me in school. I'd study all night, take the test, and then 2 days later, I couldn't remember a thing.
Exactly. That is the classic binge and purge cycle of learning. You hold the information just long enough, and then your brain just deletes it.
But why does our brain do that? It seems very inefficient.
Actually, it's the opposite. Your brain is trying to be efficient. See, keeping a memory requires energy. If you don't use the information, your brain thinks, oh, this must not be important. I should delete it to save space.
I see. So it's like a cleanup crew, just throwing away things I haven't used recently.
That's a great way to put it. Let's break this down a bit more with an analogy. I want you to imagine that every new word you learn has a, a strength score.
Okay, a strength score, kind of like a health bar in a video game.
Exactly like that. When you first learn the word, let's say you learn procrastinate. The score is high. It's at 100%. You know it perfectly.
Got it.
But without review, that score drops every single hour. It goes down to 90%, then 80, then 50.
And if I don't refresh the information,
If you don't refresh it before the score hits 0, the memory is gone. It disappears completely.
so we're basically in a race against time. We have to stop that score from hitting 0.
Yes. Hey, we can interrupt the curve. And the solution is something called spaced repetition systems, or SRS for short.
SRS. I've heard of this. This is all about timing, right?
That's correct. It is all about when you review the words. Can you walk us through the ideal schedule?
Sure. So, based on the research, instead of studying a word for like 5 hours on Monday and then never looking at it again, you space it out.
Right.
So the schedule usually looks something like this. You learn the word today. Then you absolutely must review it after one day.
Okay, step one, review tomorrow.
Then you review it again after 3 days, then again after 1 week, and finally again after 1 month.
Perfect. So 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 1 month. The gaps get bigger and bigger.
But why does this specific schedule work? I mean, why not just review it every day? Wouldn't that be better?
This is where the biology gets really, really interesting. If you review a word every single hour, it's too easy for your brain. You aren't doing any real work.
I suppose that makes sense. If I just looked at it 5 minutes ago, of course I
That's right.
remember it easily.
Exactly. But if you wait for 3 days, you might almost forget it. When you try to remember that word, your brain has to struggle just a little bit. It has to search for the answer.
Ah, I see. It's that feeling of, oh, I know this. It's on the tip of my tongue. What is it?
That's it. That struggle is the magic moment. When your brain has to work hard to find the memory, it strengthens the neural pathways.
It sounds like lifting weights at the gym.
That is a perfect analogy. If the weight is too light, you don't build muscle. It's too easy. If the memory is too easy to recall, you don't build strong memory.
And if the weight is too heavy, you can't lift it at all.
Correct. If you wait too long, you've forgotten the word completely. You need that sweet spot where it's difficult, but it's possible. That little bit of struggle makes the memory stick.
So we're basically exercising our brains by waiting just long enough for it to be a little bit difficult.
Precisely. That is how you beat the forgetting curve.
I love that. It makes so much sense. But I know a lot of students who say, I study every day, but I still forget. And usually when I ask them how they study, they say they just read their notebook.
Oh, that brings us to the next big topic, active recall versus passive review.
Okay, let's zoom in on this
Yeah,
because I
active.
think this is a mistake almost everyone makes. What do we mean by passive review?
Passive review is when you simply look at your vocabulary list and read it. You read the word, you read the definition, and you nod your head. You say to yourself, okay, I know this.
I do that all the time. It feels like studying. It feels like I'm learning something.
I have to be honest with you, it is mostly a waste of time.
Ouch. A waste of time. That is harsh.
It's harsh, but it's true. Psychologists call this the illusion of competence.
The illusion of competence.
Yes, because you recognize the word on the paper, you think you can use it, but you can't. You're just recognizing the ink on the page. You aren't actually retrieving it from your own memory.
Yeah, what should we be doing instead?
You need active recall. You must pull the information out of your brain, not just look at it.
Okay, so how do we do that practically?
The best way is to use flashcards or just cover the definition with your hand. Look at the word, close your eyes, and force yourself to say the meaning out loud. Or look at the definition and force yourself to find the word.
You have to test yourself.
Always. If you aren't testing yourself, you aren't really studying. You're just looking at paper.
That is a tough truth, but very helpful. Okay, I want to switch gears a bit. We've talked about the schedule and we talked about testing, but what about the words themselves? Sometimes a word is just so hard to remember.
Oh, definitely. Abstract words can be very difficult.
I have a favorite trick for this. It's called mnemonics, or basically using creative visualization.
I love these techniques. They are so much fun.
The rule here is simple. The stranger and the weirder the mental image, the better it sticks.
Why is that?
Because our brains are wired to remember unusual things. If you see a normal dog walking down the street, you forget it in 5 minutes. But if you see a purple elephant dancing,
You will remember that for the rest of your life.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we need to make our vocabulary words into purple elephants.
Do you have a specific example for us?
Yes. Let's take the word abundant.
Abundant. Abundant. It's a great adjective. It means a lot or plentiful.
Right. But it's kind of a boring word. So how do I remember it? I look at the sound, abundant. The first part sounds like a bun, like a hamburger bun.
Okay, I'm with you. A hamburger bun.
So to remember abundant, I close my eyes and I imagine I'm standing outside. I look up at the sky. Suddenly, dark clouds appear. But it doesn't rain water. It starts raining giant, huge hamburger buns.
Ha ha. That is ridiculous.
It is. There is an abundant supply of buns falling from the sky. I imagine them hitting me in the head. Thump, thump. They're all soft and squishy.
I love that. I can really see it. And you know what? Because we're laughing and because the image is so silly, I guarantee you will not forget the word abundant.
Exactly. The brain loves humor and it loves senses, the smell of the bread, the feeling of the bun. So when you find a hard word, make a crazy story. Make a weird picture in your head. It really works.
That's a fantastic tip. And I want to add something about how we learn these words. A big mistake students make is learning from word lists.
You mean just a long list of words, in isolation.
Yes, like apple, banana, car, decision.
Context is king, right?
Absolutely. Context is everything. My advice is this: never learn a word alone. Always learn it in a chunk or a full sentence.
Can you give us an example of a chunk?
Sure. Let's take the word decision. Don't just write decision on your flashcard. Write the phrase to make a difficult decision.
To make a difficult decision, that's good. Because then you learn that the verb is make. In some languages, you might say do decision, but in English, that's wrong.
Exactly. You learn the grammar and the vocabulary at the same time. Also, it gives your brain more hooks.
Hooks. What do you mean
Uh,
by hooks?
think of memory like a coat rack. If you just have one little pin, the coat might fall off. But if you have a big, strong hook, which is the sentence context, the memory hangs there securely.
That's a great visual. So learn phrases, not just single words.
Yes. And speaking of biology, there is one more study tool that people completely ignore. And honestly, it's my favorite one.
What is it? Is it coffee?
No, although I do love coffee, it's sleep.
Sleep. Wait, are you telling me that taking a nap counts as studying?
Actually, yes.
Okay, this is my favorite discussion ever. Please explain how this works.
Well, think about what happens when you learn during the day. That information goes into your short-term memory. It's like a temporary clipboard on a computer.
Okay. A temporary clipboard.
But that area is small and it's fragile. If you don't save it, it gets deleted. When you sleep, your brain gets to work. It takes that information from the short-term area and moves it to the long-term memory storage.
So sleep is like clicking the save button on a computer.
That is the perfect way to describe it. If you study for 5 hours, but then you only sleep for 4 hours, you didn't click save, you're going to lose that work.
That is incredible. So getting a good night's rest is actually part of your English homework.
It is essential. You cannot hack your biology if you're tired.
I love that. Okay, before we finish, we have to talk about the future. We are in the year 2026. Technology is moving so fast. How is AI changing all of this?
It is amazing, isn't it? We are seeing the rise of what are called AI predictive memory
That
tutors.
sounds like science fiction. How does it work?
Well, you know how we talked about the forgetting curve?
Yes,
Everyone's curve is slightly different. My memory is different from yours. These new AI tools use the camera on your phone or computer to track your eye movements, your response times.
it watches my eyes.
It does. It measures your pupils. It can see if you hesitate, if you look confused for even a microsecond. Based on all that data, it predicts exactly when you are about to forget a word.
So it knows I'm going to forget abundant before I actually do.
Yes. And then the app sends you a notification or maybe a little quiz at that exact moment. It catches you at the optimal moment of forgetting.
That is wild. So it resets the forgetting curve automatically, and it's tailored just for me.
Exactly. It takes all the guessing out of studying. It's like having a personal tutor who knows your brain better than you do.
That is so cool. I definitely need to download one of those apps.
It's a great tool. But remember, the principles are the same. It's still spaced repetition, it is still active recall.
Right. So let's recap. We learned that forgetting is natural, it's the curve, but we can beat it by spacing out our reviews.
Yes, day one, day three, 1 week, 1 month.
We learned to stop passive reading and start active recall. Test yourself. Don't just look at the book.
And don't forget the giant buns raining from the sky. Use visualization. Make it weird.
And always learn in chunks, not isolated words. And most importantly, get some sleep.
Click that save button.
I used to think I just had a broken brain. I thought some people were born with good memories and I was just unlucky. But after using SRS and these tricks, I honestly feel like I have a superpower.
I love that. But I have to correct you one last time.
Oh,
It's not a superpower, it's just biology. You're just finally using the machine, your brain, the way it was designed to be used.
you're right. But it still feels like magic.
It really does.
So, to all our listeners out there, stop being so hard on yourself. You don't have a bad memory, you just need a better strategy. Hack your biology and master your English. Well, that is all the time we have for today. We really hope this look into the science of memory helps you in your studies.
Yes. Try these techniques this week, especially the visualization one, and let us know how it goes.
Please don't forget to subscribe and come back to the Vivid English podcast. We have so many more exciting topics coming up for you.
Yes, be sure to tune in to Vivid English Podcast next time. We can't wait to see you all again.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
Hi, James. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Sarah. Really ready to get into our topic today. How you
Yay.
doing?
I am fantastic. Thank you. But, the topic we're covering today, it's something that can make a lot of people feel pretty nervous.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about going to the doctor. And
Mm-hmm.
specifically, we're going to look at how to describe symptoms and pain in English.
It really can be scary. I mean, going to the doctor is stressful enough in your own language,
For sure.
but doing it in a second language, that's a whole new level of anxiety. You worry about using the wrong word.
Or not being understood when it really, really matters.
Exactly.
It's true. Accuracy is so important here. But that's what we're here for today. We don't want you to worry.
Yes. Our mission is to give you the specific vocabulary you need to describe exactly how you feel so you can walk into that clinic feeling, confident.
Absolutely. And just remember, doctors want to help you. They're patient. We just need to give you the right tools for that communication.
So let's get started with the absolute basics, the foundation. When I walk into the doctor's office, what's the most common way to, start talking about my problem?
There are really two main patterns that will cover almost everything. It's very useful to learn these first.
Okay.
The first pattern is I have a plus a noun.
I have a. Okay. Can you give us some examples of that?
Sure. You would say, I have a headache,
Mm-hmm.
or I have a sore throat, or maybe I have a fever.
Okay. So that's for a condition that I possess. I have.
Exactly. It belongs to you right now. I have a cold. I have a rash. It's simple, but it's very correct.
Got it. And what's the second pattern?
The second pattern focuses more on your body. The pattern is my body part hurts.
Ah, so you're identifying the location pointing to the specific place.
Right. So you would say, my back hurts or my knee hurts.
That seems easy enough. My stomach hurts. My head hurts.
It is easy. But here's where it gets a little tricky for some learners. We have two words that often cause confusion: ache and sore.
Oh, yes. This is a classic question. When do I say I have an ache versus when something is sore?
Let's break this down nice and slow. Usually, ache, that's ACHE, is used for an internal, lingering kind of pain.
Internal, okay.
Yeah, dull, continuous pain, like headache.
Or stomach ache.
Exactly. Or toothache. You usually wouldn't say my head is sore unless maybe you bumped it on something and the skin itself hurts.
Oh, I see.
If the pain is deep inside, it's an ache, a
No.
headache.
Okay. So then when do we use sore?
Sore is usually when something is tender to the touch or it's painful because you used it too much.
Ah, like after exercise.
Perfect example. If you go to the gym, the next day you have sore muscles.
Right. Or if I shout too much at a concert, I get a sore throat.
Perfect. Your throat feels raw and is tender.
Mm.
So headache is inside. Sore throat feels scratched, kind of on the surface.
Yeah. Got it. So we've got the location. I have a headache or my back hurts. But sometimes the doctor asks, what kind of pain is it? And just saying It hurts isn't really enough, is it?
You're absolutely right. This is where we need what I call the pain palette.
The pain palette, I like that.
Just like a painter uses different colors, pain has different feelings. Using the right adjective helps the doctor diagnose the problem.
Let's go through these adjectives slowly. I think this is super helpful for our listeners. What's the first one?
The first one is sharp pain.
Sharp. SHARP. What does that feel like?
Imagine a needle or a knife. It's sudden, it's strong,
Yeah.
and it's very specific. It feels like something is poking you.
Ouch. Okay, so I have a sharp pain in my side.
Exactly. Now contrast that with the next one, dull pain.
Dull pain. DULL.
A dull pain isn't so overpowering. It's not like a knife. It's more of a heaviness, a pressure. It's just sort of there in the background.
Like a normal headache might be.
Mm,
Or maybe the pain from sitting too long.
yes, often. A backache from sitting all day is usually a dull ache. It's annoying and present, but it isn't sharp.
Okay. What about when you can feel your heartbeat in the pain? You know, that boom, boom, boom feeling.
And that is a great description. We call that throbbing pain.
Throbbing. That's a great word. Let's practice that one. THROBBING. Throbbing.
Yes, I have a throbbing headache.
Mm.
This is extremely common for people who get migraines. The pain has a rhythm.
I hate that feeling. Okay, what if the pain feels hot? Like actually hot?
Then we use burning, a burning
The
sensation.
burning sensation.
Yeah. You might feel this with a stomach issue like acid reflux. I have a burning sensation in my chest. Or with a skin infection, it feels like fire.
Okay, one more. What if the pain is extremely intense? Like that sharp pain, but even worse.
We often call that stabbing pain.
Stabbing. Wow, like being stabbed with something? That sounds awful.
It is awful. It's very intense, very sharp, and it often happens all of a sudden. If you tell a doctor you have stabbing pain, they will take it very seriously.
So clarity is really key here. Let's review those again, nice and slow for everyone listening.
Sharp,
Dull, throbbing.
burning, stabbing.
Excellent. Okay, so we've told the doctor where it hurts and what it feels like, but then they always start asking about time, don't they?
Yes, the timeline is crucial. The
Uh,
doctor is like a detective, and the timeline gives them the clues.
yeah.
The first question is usually, when did it start?
And we need to be specific, not just a while ago.
Right. Use clear time markers. It started 3 days ago, or it started last night.
Okay.
This tells the doctor how fast things are progressing.
What if the pain is inconstant? What if it, stops and then starts again?
There's a perfect phrase for that. You just say, it comes and
It
goes.
comes and goes. I love that. It sounds so natural.
It's perfect. It means the pain isn't there all the time. It comes, it goes.
And they also want to know if it's changing.
Yes. Is it getting worse or is it staying the same? Getting worse is a really important thing to tell a doctor. It's a big red flag.
Here's something I find useful. Sometimes pain is connected to an action. Like my knee feels fine until I walk up the stairs.
That's a trigger. The sentence you want to use is, it hurts more when and then the action.
It hurts more when I walk upstairs.
Or, it hurts more when I breathe deeply. This gives the doctor a huge clue about what's going on inside your body.
We have to talk about the numbers, the famous question.
Ah, yes. The pain scale. The doctor will ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst pain imaginable. How bad is your pain?
I always find this so hard. I never know what number to pick.
Here is my most crucial piece of advice for everyone listening. Be honest. Please do not try to be brave.
Oh, right. It's so easy to say, oh, it's fine, just a little pain.
Exactly. But if you say it's a 3 when really it feels like an 8, the doctor might not treat it with the right urgency. If it hurts a lot, you need to say a high number.
So if I feel like crying from the pain, that is not a 2?
Definitely not. That is an 8 or a 9 or even a 10. Your honesty helps the doctor help you.
Okay, moving on. Sometimes pain brings, well, it brings friends with it. Unwanted
The
friends.
sidekicks, yes. Pain rarely comes alone. We call these other things additional symptoms.
Let's define some common ones. What is nausea?
Nausea is that sick feeling in your stomach. It's the feeling that you might throw up, that you might vomit.
Ugh, the worst. So you would say, I feel nauseous.
I feel nauseous, or I have nausea. Both work.
Okay. What about when the room feels like it's moving or spinning?
That's dizziness. You feel unsteady on your feet. You'd say, I feel dizzy.
And what about when you feel really cold and you're shaking, but you might actually have a fever?
Those are the chills. You feel freezing cold and you're shivering, even if your body temperature is high. I have the chills.
And finally, that blocked up feeling in your nose?
That's congestion. You can say, I am congested or I have nasal congestion. It just means a stuffy nose.
Nausea, dizziness, chills, congestion. Got it. Now, before the doctor gives you any medicine, there is a very, very serious conversation that needs to happen.
Yes, safety first. We have to talk about medications and allergies.
This part is so important. What's the phrase to tell a doctor about allergies?
You say, I'm allergic to, and then you name the thing. For example, I am allergic to penicillin.
I'm allergic to peanuts.
Exactly. You must tell them this. And they will also ask what medicines you are taking now.
Right.
So you say, I am currently taking, and then the medication name. I am currently taking aspirin.
And after the doctor decides what you need, they'll either give you a paper or tell you to just buy it at the store.
Right. That's the difference between prescription and over-the-counter medicine.
Right.
A good question to ask is, do I need a prescription for this?
A prescription is that official note from the doctor, isn't it?
Yes. For many strong medicines, you cannot buy them without that note. So asking that question makes everything clear.
This has been a lot of vocabulary.
It has. I think we should try to put it all together.
I agree. The best way to see how this all works is to act it out. Let's do a few quick role plays.
I love role plays. Let's do it.
Okay, scenario A. I think I have the flu. I'll be the patient.
Okay, I'm the doctor. So, what brings you in today?
Well, doctor, I have a fever and I have these terrible body aches.
I see. And how long have you been feeling this way?
It started about 2 days ago, and I also have the chills.
Okay. Any other symptoms?
Yes, I have a sore throat and a really bad cough.
All right. It does sound like it could be the flu.
See? That was so simple. I have a fever, body aches, started 2 days ago, and sore throat.
Perfect combination. Okay, let's try scenario B. A sprained wrist. Maybe you fell.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hi there. What seems to be the problem?
My wrist really hurts. I fell on it yesterday.
Can you describe the pain for me?
It's a really sharp pain whenever I try to move it.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd say it's about a 7, and it hurts more when I try to lift something.
Okay, let's take a look at that.
So in that one, I used my wrist hurts, sharp pain, and it hurts more when I.
Exactly. Location, type of pain, and the trigger. Very clear.
Okay, one last one. Let's do stomach issues.
All right. Good morning. How can I help?
Hi, doctor. I have a stomach ache.
Can you describe the pain for me?
It's mostly a dull ache, but
Yeah.
sometimes I get these really sharp cramps.
And do you feel anything else?
Yes, I have some nausea, especially right after I eat.
Okay. We should definitely check that out.
Dull ache, sharp cramps, nausea.
Yeah.
Using those specific words really paints a clear picture.
He really does. If you just say my stomach hurts, I have no idea what it could be. But dull ache with sharp cramps gives me so much more information.
This has been so helpful. I honestly feel like I'd be much calmer now if I had to go to a doctor in another country.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
And I have one final tip for our listeners who might still feel nervous.
What's that?
Write it down before you even go to the appointment. Sit down at home and write a little symptom list on a piece of paper.
Oh, that is such a good idea.
You can just hand the paper to the doctor or read from it.
Hmm,
It takes all the pressure off your memory.
absolutely. There is no shame at all in being prepared.
And please remember, the doctor is there to fix your health, not to grade your grammar. They're not an English teacher.
So true.
They just want to understand the problem so they can help you feel better. Don't let the fear of a mistake stop you from getting the care you need.
Your health is always the most important thing. Well, we really hope this helps all of you feel stronger and more confident. We want you to be safe and healthy wherever you are in the world.
We really enjoyed exploring this with you today.
Be sure to tune in to Vivid English Podcast next time. We have so many more useful topics coming to help you on your English journey.
Yes, we really appreciate you listening.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I am Sarah, and I am so happy to be here with you all today.
And I am James. Hello, everyone.
It is so good to see you. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic, thank you. I'm really excited about our conversation today. How are you feeling?
I am feeling great. I am full of energy because we have such an important and really practical topic to discuss.
We certainly do. It's a topic that affects almost everyone, whether you're a student or a professional.
Today, we're going to talk about something that makes almost everyone nervous. We're talking about public speaking and presentations.
Oh, yes, that's a big one. Even native English speakers get sweaty hands when they have to speak in front of a crowd. It's the stuff of nightmares for many people.
Exactly. It can be so scary, but for our listeners, there's an extra layer of difficulty. They have to do it in a second language.
That is true. You worry about your grammar, your vocabulary, your accent, and then suddenly your mind just goes blank.
But today, we are going to help you fix that. We are going to break down the secrets of a perfect presentation. We'll look at how to start with power and how to end so people remember you.
Right. We have some great tips to share. And to start, we need to understand a little bit of psychology. There's a concept called the primacy and recency effect.
The primacy and recency effect. Okay, that sounds a little bit fancy. Can you explain what that means?
Of course. It's actually quite simple. Primacy refers to the beginning, the first thing you see. And recency refers to the end, the last thing you see.
Okay, so the beginning and the end.
Exactly. Research shows that audiences remember the beginning of a speech and the end of a speech much, much better than the middle.
That makes sense. The middle is usually where all the data and the heavy information is. It can get a little blurry.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If you mess up the beginning or the end, you have lost the audience.
So if the beginning and the end are the most important parts, we really need to focus on them.
You're absolutely right. And here is the trap that so many people fall into. Think about how most people start a presentation.
Oh, I know this. They usually say, "Hello, my name is Sarah, and today I'm here to talk about."
Exactly. It's almost automatic. Hello, my name is James. It's polite, but it is so boring.
It is boring.
It wastes that crucial first moment. You lose that primacy advantage because it's not exciting. The audience probably already knows who you are. It's written on the schedule.
So we need to stop being polite and start being interesting. We need a hook.
Yes. That brings us to our first main point, the hook. This all happens in the first 30 seconds.
The first 30 seconds. Wow, that is not a lot of time.
It is very fast. In today's world, people have their phones in their hands. If you're boring for the first 10 seconds, they will look down at their phones.
We definitely do not want that. So let's look at the four types of hooks we found in our research. These are specific ways to grab attention immediately.
The first type is called the surprising statistic.
A statistic is a number or a fact, right?
Correct. But it can't be a boring number. It has to be shocking or surprising. It has to challenge what the audience thinks they know.
Let me try. The phrase we can use is, did you know that 80% of?
That's a great phrase. I'll say it again clearly. Did you know that 80% of?
So if I were doing presentation on coffee, I could say, did you know that 80% of people cannot start their day without caffeine?
Perfect. That makes me want to listen. I think, wow, really? 80%? Am I part of that group? It grabs my brain instantly.
I like that. It is much better than saying, I am going to talk about coffee. Okay, what's the second type of hook?
The second type is the provocative question.
Provocative means something that makes you think deeply, right?
Yes, it's a question that doesn't usually have a simple yes or no answer. It makes the audience search their own minds. The phrase here is, have you ever wondered why?
Have you ever wondered why? Can you give us an example?
Sure. Imagine a presentation about business success. I could start by saying, have you ever wondered why some startups become billion-dollar companies while others go bankrupt in 6 months?
That is a good one. It makes me want to know the answer immediately. You've created a mystery.
Exactly. You're inviting the audience to solve a mystery with you.
Okay, let's move to the third type. This one is called the imagine scenario.
This one is very powerful.
Yeah.
You want the audience to use their imagination. You want them to paint a picture in their heads.
The key phrase here is imagine you are in a world where.
Yes. Why don't you try this one?
Okay, let's try this. Imagine you are in a world where you never have to sit in traffic again.
Oh, I would love that world. Immediately, I feel relaxed.
Me too.
By saying that, you put the listener inside the story. They're not just watching you, they're visualizing the situation.
That is really cool. Now, what is the fourth and final type of hook?
The fourth type is the short story.
Everyone loves a story.
They do. But you have to be careful. It must be short. A 15-second personal anecdote is perfect. An anecdote is just a fancy word for a short, interesting story.
And the phrase to introduce this is, before I begin, I'd like to share a quick story.
Exactly. Before I begin, I'd like to share a quick story. It signals that you are going to be personal and, well, vulnerable for a moment.
Okay. I think we should show our listeners how this works in real life. Let's do a little role play.
I'm ready.
We're going to pretend we're doing a sales pitch for a new security software. First, I want you to do a boring opening. Show us what we should not do.
Okay. I'll do my best robot impression. Here I go. Hello. My name is James. I work for Super Solutions. Yeah. Today I'm going to talk to you about our new software product. It is version 2.0.
Oh my goodness. Stop. I'm already asleep. That was terrible.
It was painful, wasn't it? It had no energy at all.
It was. I was reaching for my phone to check Instagram.
Haha. Okay, now let me try an exciting opening using one of our hooks. I'll use the surprising statistic.
Go for it.
Did you know that 50% of businesses lose their data every single year? Today, I'm going to show you how to never be one of them.
Ooh, tell me more.
You see,
That was completely different. I felt scared about losing my data, and I wanted you to fix it for me immediately.
that's the power of a hook. You create a problem and you promise a solution.
So we have our hook, we have grabbed their attention, they're looking at us. What comes next?
Now we need the roadmap.
A roadmap, like a map for driving.
Exactly. You need to tell the audience where you're going. If you don't, they might get confused or impatient. You're setting expectations. It is like a verbal contract.
This is where we need to be very clear. What are some good phrases for this?
A classic strong phrase is, today I'm going to talk about.
Simple and effective. Today, I'm going to talk about.
Another one, if you have a longer presentation, is, I've divided my presentation into three main parts.
I've divided my presentation into three main parts.
That makes you sound very organized. It relaxes the audience because they know there is a structure. The brain loves the number three.
It really does. And is there one more phrase we can use?
Yes, this one focuses on the benefit for the listener. You can say, by the end of this talk, you will know how to.
Oh, I love that one. By the end of this talk, you will know how to. It promises a reward to the listener.
Exactly. It tells them, if you stay and listen, you will learn a new skill.
Okay, so we have the hook and we have the roadmap. But before we get to the end of the presentation, I have a question about um, delivery.
Delivery, how you speak and how you look.
Yes. Sometimes, even if my words are good, I feel like I look nervous, I get stiff. How do I look and sound confident?
That's a great question. There are three tips we found in our source material. The first one is my favorite, but it is hard to do. It's called the power pause.
The power pause. Does
Yeah.
that mean just being silent?
Yes. Silence is your best friend. Many English learners are afraid of silence. They think they need to speak fast. But a pause builds anticipation.
So instead of saying, I should just be quiet.
Exactly. Stop. Breathe. Count to two in your head. Let the audience think about what you just said. It makes you look very confident.
That is good advice. Embrace the silence. What about my eyes? Where should I look?
This is the second tip. eye contact, specifically the triangle method.
Triangle method, what is that?
Well, you should not stare at just one person. That makes them really uncomfortable. And you should definitely not look at the floor.
The floor is safe, but it is not engaging.
Correct. Imagine a triangle in the room. Look at a person on the left,
Mm-hmm.
then look at a person on the right, then look at someone in the middle.
Left, right, middle, like drawing a triangle with your eyes.
Yes, it makes the whole audience feel like you are speaking to them. It distributes your attention.
Okay. Pause. Triangle eye contact. What's the third tip?
The third tip is voice variety. You must avoid the monotone robot voice.
We heard that earlier in your bad role play.
Yes. Hello, my name is James. It is hypnotic, but in a very bad way.
Haha. It is very hard to listen to.
You need to go up and down. Speak louder for important points. Speak softer for secrets. Speed up when you are excited and slow down when something is important. Treat your voice like music.
Okay. So we have delivered our speech with great eye contact and voice variety. Now, we're at the end. We need to talk about recency, the closing.
The closing is just as important as the hook.
But I usually just say, that's all. Thanks. Is that bad?
It is not terrible, but it is weak. It's like letting a balloon simply run out of air. It just fizzles out.
Okay. No balloons running out of air. We want to end with a bang.
Exactly. There are 3 steps to a good close. Step 1 is the summary.
Reminding them what we talked about because they might have forgotten the middle part.
Yes, you can use the phrase, to wrap up, we looked at A, B, and C.
To wrap up, I like that phrase, to wrap up. It sounds very professional.
After the summary, step 2 is the call to action, or CTA.
This means telling the audience what to do next, right?
Correct. Knowledge is useless if you don't use it. You need to give them a little bit of homework.
What's a good phrase for this?
You can say, I encourage you to.
I encourage you to.
Or be more specific and time bound. Next time you're in the office, try to.
Next time you're in the office, try to. That's very clear.
And step 3 is an advanced technique. It is called the circular ending.
Circular, like a circle.
Yes, this is when you reference the hook that you used at the very beginning.
Oh, so if I started with that story about traffic,
Yeah, and by mentioning traffic again.
that is brilliant. It makes the whole presentation feel complete, like a full circle.
It gives the audience a very satisfied feeling. It feels like a well-told story.
Okay. Summary, call to action, circular ending. And then we have the final moment, the mic drop.
The mic drop. This is the final thought you leave them with. It should be inspiring.
We have 2 options here. First, the quote.
Using a famous quote is always safe and powerful. The phrase is, as famous person once said.
As Steve Jobs once said, or as Maya Angelou once said.
Exactly. The second option is the visionary statement. This paints a picture of the future.
The phrase for this is, if we do this, the future will look like.
If we do this, the future will look like. It leaves them on a high note, feeling hopeful.
Let's practice this. Let's do another role play.
Great idea.
This is role play scenario B. I'm giving a project update to my boss. I need to do a strong closing.
Okay. Show us how it's done.
To wrap up, we looked at the current budget, the timeline, and the new design. I encourage you to approve the new budget by Friday so we can stay on track. If we do this, the future will look like a successful launch this summer.
Wow. That was excellent.
Thank you.
You had a clear summary, budget, timeline, design. You had strong call to action, approved by Friday. And you had a visionary statement, successful launch.
You felt much better than saying, "That's all, thanks." It felt assertive.
Much, much better.
Yeah.
It is hard for a boss to say no to that.
Yeah. Okay. We have finished the presentation, but now comes the part that gives me nightmares.
What's that?
The Q&A session. Questions and answers.
Ah, yes. The moment where you lose control. You can script your speech, but you can't script their questions.
It is terrifying. What if they ask something I don't know?
Do not panic. We have strategies for this.
Mm-hmm.
First, you need to invite questions politely.
The phrase is, "I'd be happy to take any questions now."
I'd be happy to take any questions now. Say it with a smile.
Okay. But what if someone asks a really hard question and I need a moment to think? I do not want to just stand there with my mouth open.
You can use a buying time phrase. This gives your brain a few extra seconds to work.
What should I say?
You can say, "That's a great question. Let me think about that for a second."
That's a great question. Let me think about that for a second. That is honest and confident.
Shows you're taking their question seriously.
Now, the worst case scenario. What if I really truly do not know the answer?
Never lie and never guess. It is okay not to know, but you must handle it professionally.
So, what's the magic phrase?
The phrase is, "I don't have that data right now, but I can follow up with you after the meeting."
I don't have that data right now, but I can follow up with you after the meeting. That sounds very responsible.
It turns a negative into a positive. You are promising to help them later, personally.
Let's try this out. Role play scenario C.
I'm ready. Do your worst.
I am going to be a tough audience member. I'm going to ask you a very hard question involving numbers.
I am nervous, but I am ready.
So, regarding the marketing budget, what is the exact return on investment for the third quarter of 2019 adjusted for inflation?
That's a great question. Let me think about that for a second. I don't have that specific data right now, but I can follow up with you after the meeting with a detailed report.
Oh, well, okay, thank you.
You see? You accepted it.
I did. I felt respected. You didn't panic, and you promised to give me the answer later. That was very graceful.
Thank you. It takes practice, but it works.
This has been such a helpful discussion. I feel much more ready to give a presentation now.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, everyone makes mistakes. I remember one time I was giving a big speech. I walked on stage, looked at the audience, and my mind went completely blank.
Oh no, the nightmare realized. What happened?
I forgot my hook. I had a joke prepared, and it just vanished.
What did you do?
I took a deep breath. I did a power pause,
Oh.
and then I just smiled and said, "Hello."
Yeah.
It wasn't the best start, but I recovered because I had a roadmap. I knew where I was going next.
That is a great story. It shows that even experts have bad moments. It is about how you recover. Structure saves you.
Exactly. Structure saves you.
I want to leave our listeners with a beautiful thought from our source material today. A presentation is a gift you give to your audience. Make it worth their time.
That's wonderful. It's not about you performing, it's about them receiving value. It's a gift.
Yes. Treat your audience like you're giving them a present. Wrap it nicely with a hook and deliver it with care.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our talk today. We've covered the hook, the roadmap, delivery, the close, and the Q&A.
It really was a full crash course. Thank you so much for listening to us today. We really hope these tips help you nail your next presentation.
Absolutely. Please don't forget to subscribe and come back to the Vivid English podcast. We have so many more topics to explore with you.
Yes. Be sure to tune in to Vivid English Podcast next time. We love learning with you.
Have a wonderful week, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm Sarah.
And I'm James.
James, it is so good to see you. How's it going today?
It's going great, Sarah. I've got my coffee, feeling good, and I'm actually really excited to get into our topic today. How about you?
I am doing fantastic, thanks. I am definitely in a travel mood. You know that feeling when you're just planning a trip and everything just feels so exciting.
Oh, absolutely. That pre-trip energy is just the best.
Well, today we are going to channel that energy into something really practical. We're going to explore the ins and outs of renting a car when you're abroad.
This is such a critical topic. I mean, renting a car gives you so much freedom. You can go wherever you want, whenever.
Yeah.
But let's be real, that moment at the rental counter, it can be a little stressful.
It really can be. It feels like you're taking a test or something. You're jet lagged, you're tired, and then suddenly someone's throwing all this, complex language at you.
Hmm.
Our mission today is to give you the phrases and the confidence to handle that whole situation like a pro.
We want to help you walk away with the keys to the car you actually want and not pay for a bunch of stuff you just don't need.
Exactly. We're going to break down the confusing words, look at the insurance part, and get you on the road. So, are you ready to get started?
I am so ready. Let's go to that rental counter.
Okay, so picture it. You've just landed, you've gotten your bags, you found the rental car center, and now you're in line. It's 2026, so things are pretty high tech, right?
They are. You see a lot of contactless rentals now. You just use an app on your phone, find your car, and drive off. Super convenient.
It is, but I find that when you're traveling internationally, technology has a way of not working. Or the company just needs to see your passport in person.
That's a very real thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of countries, they're legally required to physically scan your documents and, match your face to the photo. So chances are you'll end up at the desk talking to an agent.
Right. So you walk up to the agent, you want to start things off really clearly. You don't need a big long story.
No, just be direct. The best sentence to use is, I have a reservation under the name, and then say your name very, very clearly.
I have a reservation under the name Sarah Jones. It sounds so simple, but I know when I'm nervous, I can start to mumble.
We all do. And you have to remember, names can be really hard to understand in different accents. So if your name is a bit tricky, just be ready to spell it.
Hmm.
Or, even better, have your confirmation number ready on your phone to show them.
Oh, that's a great tip. Okay, now let's talk about the actual car because sometimes you book a car online and you're looking at this picture of a big, roomy car,
And then when you get there, they try to give you something that looks like a little shoebox on
a
wheels.
compact car surprise. And if you've got like four suitcases and a family, that is just not going to work.
No way.
So you have to speak up for yourself. If the car is too small, you can say, I'd like to upgrade to an SUV.
I'd like to upgrade to an SUV. An SUV. a sport utility vehicle that's going to give you that extra space for luggage and people.
But just be careful, an upgrade usually costs more money, right?
Usually, yes. But here's a little secret. Sometimes the rental places actually run out of the small, cheap cars. So
Oh,
if you just smile and ask nicely, they might just give you that upgrade for free.
I love that. It never ever hurts to ask. Okay, now there is one question that is, for some drivers, a matter of life and death.
I think I know where you're going with this. The transmission.
Yes, you have to ask, is this car an automatic or a manual?
This is so important.
Hmm.
In the US, for example, almost every rental car is an automatic. You just put it in drive and go. But in, say, Europe or South America, manuals or stick shifts, they're still very common.
I have a friend, he rented a car in Italy, didn't think to ask. He gets to the car, sees the three pedals and the stick shift, and just froze. Had no idea how to drive it.
Oh, what a nightmare.
He was stuck at the airport for hours trying to find an automatic.
You do not want to start your vacation like that.
Ugh.
And trying to learn stick shift on some steep, unfamiliar road is just, it's dangerous. So asking that one simple question can save your whole trip.
Definitely. Okay, and while we're on the topic of modern cars, we're seeing more and more electric vehicles or EVs in rental lots.
We are, which is great. You save on gas money. But they do come with a new kind of stress, range anxiety.
Right. The fear of running out of battery in the middle of nowhere. So you need to ask a couple of things. First, where can I find the nearest charging stations?
Where can I find the nearest charging stations? The agent should be able to help you with a map or recommend an app to download.
And just like checking for a full tank of gas, you have to check the battery.
Absolutely. Ask them straight up, does the car come with a full charge? You really want to leave that lot with at least 80%, ideally 100.
Yeah. You don't want the first hour of your holiday to be spent sitting at a charging station.
No, thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the part that makes everyone groan, the paperwork.
Ah, yes. The contract.
So the agent is typing. They ask for your driver's license. But if you're in a country with a different alphabet, for instance, they might need something extra.
They might ask for an IDP. So it's good to be proactive and ask, do you need my international driving permit as well?
Okay, let's just clarify what an IDP is. Because it's a bit confusing. It's not like a special license that lets you drive anywhere, is it?
No, not at all. A great way to think of it is as a translation booklet. The international driving permit just translates the information on your real license into about 10 different languages. It has no legal power by itself.
So I have to carry my original license with me at all times.
Always. You must have your original license. The IDP just helps, the local police or the rental agent understand your details if they don't speak your language.
That makes a lot of sense. Better to have it and not need it.
For sure. Okay, while we're on the topic of paperwork, we have to talk about who is actually allowed to drive the car.
Oh, this is a huge one. I remember a road trip with some friends, and we would just, swap drivers whenever someone got tired. We didn't tell the rental company.
Oh, Sarah, that is risky. If your friend who wasn't on the contract had an accident, the insurance would have been totally void. You would be responsible for everything.
That is terrifying to think about. Okay, so even if it costs a bit more, you have to do it right. You need to say, I'd like to add another driver to the contract.
I'd like to add another driver to the contract. It might cost, 10 or $15 a day, but that small fee is buying you protection and peace of mind. It's worth it.
Completely worth it. Okay, speaking of money and protection, we have reached the most confusing, most intimidating part of this whole process.
The insurance maze.
It feels like it's designed to be confusing, doesn't it? They throw all these acronyms at you, say DW, LDW.
They say them so fast. And it's an alphabet soup of terms.
Mhm.
This is where people get panicked and they waste money buying things they don't need.
Okay, let's zoom in on this and decode it. The first one, the big one you always hear, is CDW. What on earth is that?
CDW stands for collision damage waiver. And that word waiver is important. It's not technically insurance. It's the rental company agreeing to waive or give up their right to charge you for damage to the car.
So if I say back into a little pole in a parking lot and scratch the bumper, the CDW means I don't have to pay for the repair.
Exactly. It covers damage to the rental car itself. So a key question to ask is, does the price include the collision damage waiver?
Does the price include the collision damage waiver? Because sometimes that super cheap price you find online is cheap because it has zero protection, right?
That's the oldest trick in the book. You get there and suddenly the price doubles because you have to add all the waivers.
Okay, so CDW is for collisions, for damage. What's LDW? It sounds similar.
LDW is the loss damage waiver. Think of it as CDW plus theft protection.
Ah, theft. That seems pretty important.
It's critical. I mean, imagine you park the car, you go have dinner, you come back, and
Hmm.
it's just gone. Without LDW, you could be on the hook for the entire value of that car.
Wow. Okay, that gives me peace of mind. But wait, what about other people? What if I cause an accident and damage someone else's car?
That is the single most important coverage. That is called liability insurance.
Liability, like my legal responsibility.
Yes. CDW covers your rental car. Liability insurance covers the other person's car or their medical bills if, God forbid, they get hurt. In most countries, this is required by law.
And I imagine the costs there could be astronomical.
They could be life-changing. You never, ever drive without liability coverage.
So the agent is offering you the silver package, the gold package, the platinum. It gets overwhelming. What do we do?
Well, you have two main strategies. The first one is what I call the peace of mind approach. Just look the agent in the eye and say, I'd like the full coverage option, please.
I'd like the full coverage option, please. Okay, so that costs more, but you're basically stress-free. You can walk away from almost anything.
Exactly. It's the simple no worries option. But then there's strategy B, the smart saver approach.
Ooh, tell me more.
Many credit cards, especially the ones designed for travel, already include rental car insurance as a benefit. You might already have CDW coverage just sitting in your wallet.
No way. So I could be paying for the same thing twice.
A lot of people do. So the key is to check with your credit card company before you even leave home. If they cover you, you can confidently tell the agent, I already have insurance through my credit card.
I already have insurance through my credit card. I bet you need to be ready to prove that, though.
Oh, you do? Print out the policy information from their website. The agent isn't just going to take your word for it. You need to show them the proof.
That is fantastic advice. Okay, We did it. We survived the paperwork. We have the keys. We're walking to the car. It looks good. Can I just get in and drive away now?
No, stop. This is maybe the most important moment. Do not get in that car yet.
The pre-drive inspection.
You have to become a detective. You need to inspect every single inch of that car, inside and out.
And why are we doing this?
Because if that car has a scratch on it when you pick it up and you don't report it, guess who they're going to blame when you bring it back?
Me. And they're going to charge me for it.
They are going to charge you for it. So get your phone out, take a video, walk all the way around the car, look at the bumpers, the wheels, everything.
And if you find something, you point it out right away. You walk back to the agent and say something like, there's a small dent on the passenger side door.
There's a small dent on the passenger side door.
And use specific words. A dent is when the metal is pushed in. A scratch is a line in the paint. A scuff is a mark on a plastic part, like the bumper.
Using the right words kind of shows them you know what you're doing.
It does. It tells them you're paying attention. And don't forget to check inside the car, too.
Right. Before you even pull out of the parking spot, you need to get everything set up.
Connect your phone, figure out the air conditioning, adjust your mirrors. You don't want to be fumbling with that stuff while you're trying to merge onto a highway you've never seen before. For me, music and maps are everything. So I always ask, how do I connect my phone to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto?
Getting your map app up on that big screen is just a game changer for safety and for stress.
Speaking of maps, what about the car's own navigation system? Do you trust those?
Honestly, not really. They're often out of date. I always stick with my phone apps like Google Maps or Waze
Mm.
because they have live traffic information.
I agree, but it's probably good to ask, does the car have a built-in navigation system, just in case your phone dies or something?
A backup plan is always a smart idea. Okay, but let's talk about a real problem. You're driving, having a great time, and then you hear that sound. Thump, thump, thump.
Oh no, a flat tire. The sound of a vacation day getting ruined. Or what if the
Uh-huh.
car just stops?
If the car breaks down, you need to know who to call. And it's probably not the emergency number unless you're in a dangerous spot. You need the rental company's help.
So before you leave, you should ask, who should I call if the car breaks down or if I have a flat tire?
Who should I call if the car breaks down? There's almost always a sticker somewhere, maybe on the windshield, with a number for roadside assistance.
Roadside assistance. That is the magic phrase to know. They're the people who will send help.
Yes. Find that number and save it in your phone immediately. You do not want to be digging through paperwork on the side of a busy road.
That's great advice. Okay, let's fast forward. The trip was amazing. We loved the car. Now it's time to go home. We have to return it.
The drop off. And this can be surprisingly confusing.
It can. Big airports are like a maze of roads. You see signs for departures, arrivals, parking. It is so easy to take a wrong turn.
And if you miss the rental car return exit, you might have to do this huge 20-minute loop to get back. That is not fun if you're worried about catching your flight.
Not at all. So when you pick up the car, ask them, where is the designated return area?
Where's the designated return area? Look for that word designated. It means the official specific place.
Okay, we found the spot, we parked the car, we have our luggage. Can we just drop the keys in the little box and run to our flight?
You can do that, but I really, really advise against it if you have time.
Why not?
Because once those keys are in the box, you've lost all control. Some might check the car hours later, find a new tiny scratch, and blame you. And you're not there to say, hey, that wasn't me.
Ah, I see. So you want to close the rental out in person?
If you can, yes. Find an employee and say, could you please check the car now and give me a receipt?
Could you please check the car now and give me a receipt?
That receipt is your proof. It's your golden ticket. It proves you returned the car on time with a full tank of gas
Yeah.
and with no new damage. Once you have that paper, they can't send you a surprise bill in the mail 2 weeks later.
That is such a valuable final step. Wow, James, we've covered the entire journey, haven't we?
We really have. From asking for an upgrade to figuring out insurance to inspecting for dents and getting that final receipt.
It makes me want to go on a road trip right now. Do you have a favorite road trip memory?
Oh, absolutely. Driving on Highway 1 in California, it's that road that's just carved into the cliffs right above the Pacific Ocean, windows down, smelling the salt in the air. It was just perfect.
That sounds absolutely beautiful.
What about you? Any good memories?
Mine is uh, a little more chaotic. I rented a car in Ireland once.
Oh,
I was so nervous. Every single time I came to a roundabout, I was just quietly chanting to myself, stay left, stay left, stay left. But the scenery was so incredibly green, it was totally worth the stress. So that's my final tip. Always check which side of the road they drive on.
that might be the most important tip of all. Know before you go.
Renting a car can feel like a challenge, but with these tips, you're going to be totally fine. Don't let the stress of the counter ruin the excitement of the trip.
Exactly. Take a deep breath, ask your questions, and be clear. You can do this.
Thank you all so much for listening today. We really hope this gives you a little more confidence for your next big adventure.
It was a real pleasure exploring this with all of you.
Please don't forget to subscribe and come back to the Vivid English podcast. We have so many more topics to help you on your English journey.
Yes, be sure to tune in to Vivid English Podcast next time. We'll be here for you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Welcome to Vivid English Podcast. Hello, everyone. I am Sarah.
And hello to you all. I am James.
It is so wonderful to see you today. How are things going with you?
Things are going very well, thank you. I am feeling refreshed and ready to chat. It is great to be here with you and with all of our listeners.
I am really excited about our topic today. We are talking about something that almost everyone loves, traveling.
Oh, yeah,
Getting on a plane, seeing new cities, trying new food.
absolutely. Travel is one of the best ways to learn about the world. And of course, probably the best way to practice your English.
That is so true. But we have to be honest, that there is a part of traveling that, well, it stresses everyone out and makes people sweat.
Oh, I think I know exactly what you mean. We aren't talking about jet lag, are we?
Haha, no.
Or losing your luggage.
Thankfully not lost luggage. No, I am talking about the end of the meal. That terrifying moment when the waiter brings the bill to the table.
Ah, yes.
Today, we are going to explore the ins and outs of tipping.
The tipping dilemma. It's fascinating how this one small social interaction can cause so much anxiety.
Right.
In one country, paying extra is practically a law.
Mm.
In another, It is actually considered rude.
Exactly. It is a total headache. I remember staring at a bill in a cafe in Rome once. I was holding my wallet and my heart was pounding.
Oh, I've been there.
I was just thinking, I do not know the rules here. I didn't want to be cheap, but I also didn't want to look foolish.
You are definitely not alone in that feeling. It is one of the most common questions we get from students. They ask, do I leave money? How much money? So our goal today is to help.
That is our mission. We want to give our listeners a clear, an actionable guide on how much to tip. Right. And we'll also look at the essential English vocabulary for reading those tricky bills.
And perhaps most importantly, we have to talk about how to handle those modern digital screens. You know, the guilt tip when the screen asks for 20% just for handing you a black coffee.
Oh, those are the worst. I get so nervous. But before we get to the stress of the iPad, let's start with the big picture. Looking at the research, it seems the world is generally divided into three specific tipping zones.
That is a great way to visualize it. To make it simple for our listeners, we can map the world into three distinct categories.
I like that. Structure helps us remember. So let's start with the first zone. What is it?
The first zone is what I call the high tip zone. This basically includes the United States and Canada.
Okay, the high tip zone. Just the name sounds expensive.
It can be. In the US and Canada, tipping is not really optional. It
Yeah.
is. It's deeply expected. It is part of the social contract of eating out.
I think this is really important to understand. Why is it so strict there? Why is it expected?
It comes down to the economic structure of the restaurant industry in North America. In these countries, the servers, the people bringing you your food, are often paid what is called a tipped minimum wage.
Tipped minimum wage.
Hey.
That implies it is lower than the regular minimum wage.
Exactly. It is significantly lower. In some U.S. states, a waiter might only earn $2 or $3 an hour from the restaurant itself.
Wow.
The expectation is that this customer you will make up the rest of their salary through tips.
I see. That makes sense now. So when you are sitting in a diner in New York, you aren't just a customer. In a way, you are also the employer paying their wages directly.
That is a perfect way to put it. That is why not tipping is seen as very aggressive.
Mm.
If you don't tip, the waiter might not make enough money to pay their rent. I mean, it is that serious.
So we know we have to pay. But inflation has changed things recently. What is the standard number we should have in our heads for 2026?
The standard has definitely crept up.
Yeah.
In 2026, within the high tip zone, the standard for good service is between 18% and 22%.
Wow. 18 to 22%. That is a significant amount of money to add on top of the menu price.
It is. If your dinner costs $100, you should be prepared to leave about $20 extra. 15% used to be the standard, but now 15% is considered on the low side, perhaps for service that was just okay.
Okay, good to know. So, if you are visiting New York, Toronto, or Vancouver, budget an extra 20% for your meals. Now let's move to the second zone. What do we have?
Next, we have the Roundup Zone. This covers most of Europe, the UK, and Australia.
The roundup zone. I like the sound of that. It sounds much more relaxed.
It is much more relaxed. In places like London, Paris, or Sydney, tipping is appreciated. It is a nice gesture, but it is not mandatory in the same survival way it is in America.
Because the staff are paid a full wage, right?
Correct. In Australia or France, servers earn a decent hourly wage. They don't rely on your tip to survive. So the tip is truly a bonus for a job well done.
So if I am in London having tea, I don't need to get my calculator out and find 20%.
No, please don't. That would be considered incredibly generous, perhaps even surprisingly so. The most common action in this zone is to simply round up the bill.
Can you walk us through an example of how rounding up works in practice?
Sure. Let's say you have a nice lunch in Berlin. The bill comes to, let's say, 27 euros. You would likely just give a 30 euro note and say, that's fine.
So you are just rounding up to the nearest convenient number. You paid €3 extra.
Exactly. You are rounding up to the nearest nice number. It is easy, it is polite, and it shows appreciation.
That is so much simpler and less math.
Much less math. Or if the service was truly excellent, maybe they gave you a great wine recommendation, you might leave a small percentage, like 5% or 10%. But there is no pressure.
Okay, so we have the high tip zone where we pay 20% and the roundup zone where we just add a little bit. What is the third one?
The third one is the non-tipping zone. This includes countries like Japan and South Korea.
The non-tipping zone, does that mean I save money?
In a way, yes, but it is more about the culture. In these cultures, good service is considered an intrinsic part of the job. They take pride in doing it well without the incentive of extra money.
This is the one that confuses Western travelers the most. If I leave money on the table in Japan just to be nice, what
It
happens?
can actually be seen as confusing. Sometimes it can even be considered rude or insulting
Rude. Really? Why would giving someone money be rude?
because it implies that their employer is not paying them enough, or it treats the transaction like charity. It disrupts the balance.
I see.
In the non-tipping zone, the price on the menu is exactly what you pay, not a penny more.
That is very clear. No math required.
Exactly. No math at all. It is actually very refreshing once you get used to it.
Okay, so now we have our geography sorted. But sometimes the confusion isn't about the culture, it is about the English words on the paper.
You are absolutely right. English receipts can be full of tricky vocabulary. Even for native speakers, it can be confusing.
Yeah.
Let's look at some important words our listeners will see.
The first word that confuses people, especially on fancy hotel bills or upscale restaurants, is gratuity.
Ah, yes. Gratuity. Let's spell that. Gratuity.
It sounds so formal. What does that actually mean?
It is just the formal legal word for tip.
Oh, that's it.
That's it. If you see the line on the receipt that says add gratuity, it is just asking you to add the tip for the server.
Okay, so gratuity equals tip. Got it. Now, here is the one that tricks everyone: service charge.
This is a crucial distinction. A service charge is not a voluntary tip. It is a mandatory fee that the restaurant adds to the bill automatically.
Oh, so I don't have a choice.
Usually, no. This often happens if you are dining with a large group of people. For example, if you have a table of 6 or 8 people, the menu might say in small print, an 18% service charge will be added to parties of 6 or more.
That is really important to check because if I see a service charge on my bill, do I still need to leave a tip on top of that?
Generally, no. That is the key.
Hmm,
If the service charge is there, the restaurant has already calculated the tip for you. You do not need to add more money. The tip is already included.
that is a relief. I don't want to pay twice. I have definitely done that before by accident.
We all have. You have to check the bill carefully. Sometimes you'll see the phrase service included.
Or If you are traveling in France, or perhaps in a fancy bistro that uses French terms on the menu, you might see service compris.
Yes. Service comprise means the same thing. Service included. Put your wallet away, you are done.
I have another phrase I want to teach our listeners. It is very useful when paying with cash, perhaps in a taxi or a bar. It is keep the change.
Oh, that is a classic. Keep the change. It
Mhm.
makes you sound very fluent.
When exactly do we use this?
Let's say your coffee costs $4.50. You hand the barista a $5 bill. The change would be 50 cents.
But maybe I don't want the coins jingling in my pocket, or I just want to be nice.
Right. You just want to leave the 50 cents as a tip. You hand over the $5 bill and simply say, keep the change.
It is such a smooth and polite way to handle it. You don't have to say, I would like to give you the remaining money as a gratuity. You just say, keep the change.
Precisely. It signals the transaction is over and they can keep the difference.
Okay. We have covered the zones and the vocabulary. Now we have to talk about the stress of 2026. The thing that makes my palms sweat.
I think I know what is coming.
The spinning iPad.
Haha. Yes. The digital tip screen. It is everywhere now. Coffee shops, bakeries, ice cream stands, even convenience stores.
Listeners, imagine this scenario. You walk into a coffee shop, you order a simple blueberry muffin. It costs $5.
Mhm.
The person behind the counter grabs a muffin with tongs, puts it in a bag, and then spins the iPad screen around to you.
And suddenly you are staring at options
Yeah.
20%, 25%, 30%. And the person is standing right there watching you.
It feels like so much pressure. I always feel guilty if I don't press a button. It feels like they're judging me. What is the rule here? Do we have to tip for a muffin?
This is what we call digital tip pressure.
Yeah.
And the good news is there is a way to handle it without guilt. Here's the advice for 2026. You have to ask yourself one question. Is this counter service?
Can you define counter service for us?
Counter service is when you stand up to order at a register and you carry your own food to the table, or you just take it to go.
So you do the work.
You are doing the serving work yourself.
Okay. So at a coffee shop or a fast food burger place, that is usually counter service.
Correct. The rule is tipping is optional for counter service.
Really, even if the screen asks for it.
Even if the screen asks, the software is just designed to ask everyone. Regardless of what you bought, do not feel guilty about clicking no tip or custom tip if the transaction was just a quick purchase.
That makes me feel so much better. I always thought they would be angry with me.
It won't be.
No.
If you just bought a muffin and walked away, you did not receive table service. You didn't have someone refilling your water or checking on your meal. So a big tip is not necessary.
Okay, I will be brave next time.
Now, if you order a complex latte that takes 5 minutes to make, maybe throw in $1. But for a muffin, no guilt.
Now, we have mostly talked about eating and drinking, but in the high tip zone, especially in the US, money changes hands in other places too. It's not just about food.
That is very true. The tipping ecosystem goes way beyond restaurants. Let's talk about hotels.
Yes. When I arrive at a hotel, especially a nice one, sometimes a person in a uniform helps me with my bags. The bellhop.
Right. If a bellhop carries your heavy bags out of the taxi and up to your room, it is standard to give them a tip. They are saving your back from doing the work.
How much should we give in that situation?
Usually $2 to $5 is standard in the US. It depends on how many bags you have.
Ah,
If
okay.
you have 5 huge suitcases, you should definitely tip on the higher end.
And what about the housekeeping staff, the people who clean the room every day?
This is one that people often forget because you don't usually see the housekeeping staff, but they have one of the hardest jobs in the hotel. Is very kind and recommended to leave a few dollars on the pillow or the desk.
Again, is $2 to $5 per night appropriate?
Yes, exactly. And a pro tip, leave it daily. Different people might clean your room on different days, so leaving it daily ensures the person who did the work gets the money.
That is a nice way to say thank you for a clean room. Now, what about getting around? Transportation.
In 2026, most people use apps like Uber or Lyft, or they take a traditional taxi.
Is tipping expected there?
Yes, it is common. Usually 10% to 15% is standard on these apps. The good thing is that the app handles the math for you.
Right. After the ride, the app usually gives you a pop up notification asking if you want rate the driver and leave a tip.
That is easy enough. Just click the
Mhm.
button. If the driver helped you with luggage or was very friendly, you might give a little more.
And there's one more category I want to touch on because it is very popular with travelers: tour guides.
Oh, I love taking tours, especially those free walking tours you see in big cities like Prague or Buenos Aires.
Ah, yes, the free walking tours. Listeners, you need to know a secret about these. This is a bit of a trick.
It is.
The tour itself is free to join. You don't buy a ticket, but the guide earns their living almost entirely from tips at the end.
So it is not really free.
Well, technically, yes, but socially, no. You pay what you think it was worth. If the guide was entertaining and informative for 2 hours, a cash tip at the end is highly recommended.
That makes sense. They work hard walking backwards and talking for 2 hours.
They certainly do. And they often have to pay a fee to the tour company for every person who shows up. So if you don't tip, they might actually lose money.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Definitely tip your tour guides. Are there any changes happening now? Is the system changing at all?
Actually, yes. There is a cultural nuance happening in 2026. We are seeing a service inclusive trend, even in the US. Some restaurants are trying to ban tipping effectively. They want to pay their staff a fair, high wage, a professional salary without relying on customers to add extra money.
That sounds great. It makes it more like the European model. But how do I know if I am in one of those restaurants?
You have to check the menu, look for a note at the bottom. It might say, "We are a non tipping establishment," or "hospitality included."
So we really have to read the fine print.
Yes, observation is key. But what if a listener is still confused? What if they're sitting there and they just don't know?
That is a great point. Listeners, if you are unsure, please just ask. It is not rude to ask about the rules.
It is perfectly okay to ask questions. You are learning, and locals appreciate that you care enough to ask.
Here are 3 specific questions you can use. Let's practice them so our listeners can hear the intonation.
Good idea. Question number one is direct. Is service included in the bill?
That is very clear. Is service included in the bill? That solves the service charge mystery immediately.
Question number two helps you understand the culture. Do people usually leave a tip here?
I like that one. It asks about the local custom. Do people usually leave a tip here? It puts the focus on what people do so it feels less personal.
And question number three. for when you want to pay but don't have cash. Can I add the gratuity to my credit card payment?
Very useful. Can I add the gratuity to my credit card payment? Sometimes you can't, and you need to find an ATM.
Exactly. These questions will save you a lot of stress.
Definitely. And finally, sometimes people feel awkward about how to give the money. Do I hand it to the waiter? Do I wave it in the air like I'm calling a taxi?
Uh-huh. Please do not wave money in the air.
No. In some cultures, handing cash directly to a person can be a little awkward or too direct. It can feel like a bribe.
So what is the polite way to do it?
The best way to leave a tip discreetly is to leave it on the table.
Just leave it there.
Yes. If the bill came in a small leather folder or on a small tray, put the cash inside that folder. It keeps it hidden and safe.
And if there is no folder,
Just tuck the money under the edge of a plate or a salt shaker so it doesn't blow away. Then you can simply walk away.
that feels very smooth. No awkward handshakes needed. You just leave the thanks on the table.
Exactly.
Well, this has been so helpful. I feel like I can travel without panic now.
I am glad to hear that. Talking about this reminds me of a funny story regarding the non-tipping zone. Well, a few years ago, I was traveling in Tokyo. I knew about the non-tipping zone, but I forgot. Had such a delicious meal ramen, I think. And I wanted to be nice.
No. I think I know where this is going. Old habits die hard.
They do. Left a huge tip on the table, maybe 20%, and walked out of the restaurant. I was feeling very proud of myself. I am such a generous tourist, I thought. They will be so happy.
And then what happened?
I walked about 2 blocks down the street. Suddenly, I heard shouting behind me. I turned around, and the waiter was running, sprinting towards me. He was wearing his apron and everything.
Oh no.
He was completely out of breath. He handed me the money back. He bowed deeply and said, "Sir, you forgot your money on the table."
Ha ha. He thought you made a mistake.
He did. He thought I had accidentally left my cash behind. He chased me down the street to return it. I felt so embarrassed, but also amazed by his honesty. He didn't want my charity. He just wanted to return what he thought was mine.
That is a wonderful story. It really shows how different cultures can be. In New York, they might chase you if you didn't leave money. In Tokyo, they chase you if you did.
It does. It taught me a valuable lesson.
Hmm.
Generosity means different things in different places.
So, what is the final takeaway for our listeners today?
I think the golden rule is this: when in doubt, observe the locals. Look at what other people are doing at the tables next to you. Or just use the questions we practiced.
That is great advice.
And remember, even if you get the money wrong, a smile and a sincere thank you are universal. Everyone understands kindness, even if the math is a little off.
Absolutely. Don't let the stress of the bill ruin your beautiful travel experience.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of our guide today.
It does. I hope you all feel more confident about tipping, whether you are in New York, Paris, or Tokyo.
It was a pleasure exploring this topic with you all.
Before we go, we have a small favor to ask. We love making these episodes for you, and we want to keep helping you learn.
Yes, please don't forget to subscribe and come back to the Vivid English podcast. It helps us a lot.
We have so many more exciting topics coming up to help you master English.
Be sure to tune in to Vivid English Podcast next time.
Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.